not dictated by a deity. It's developed from empathy, dependence, and love. My morality accepts everybody's sexuality, is more concerned with inequality and the validations from above. My morality is not set into stone tablets.
Hi, my name is Tim. I'm a graduate from the University of Kansas and a part of KU Soma, and I'm here for Reason Fest as an attendee, but I've also helped out a little bit while I've been here. And when I heard about this podcast and some of the things that are going to be discussed, I figured that I might be able to put my 2 cents in as well.
Okay, so something happened with you with Boy Scouts and everything?
Yes, I am an Eagle Scout, and I am a former member of the Boy Scouts of America. However, when I started to hear about the numerous cases of homosexuals being kicked out of Boy Scouts, including one of the more famous ones right now is Jennifer Terrell, a lesbian who wanted to put her child in Scouts and was then told that she could not be a part of it because she was gay. When I started to hear about all these things, for a while I was inside the organization trying to fight it, and once it started to basically get to a certain point, I was like, I can't associate with this group anymore, and so I ended up choosing not to be a part of the organization at all. And it's recently come up that they are going to allow gay scouts in, but they will not allow gay leaders because they fear that gay leaders are going to prey on the young scouts, which I think is an absolutely horrible thing, that they would make such a horrible generalization. And alongside that, they're still, I think, only putting it up for a vote for this to be a continued thing. It's only like a temporary thing. I don't know a lot of the details, so I won't say anything as absolute fact. It's things that hopefully our viewers are going to go and check out for themselves. But the idea that a gay person is going to be more likely to be a predator of some sort to me is insulting, even though I am not gay. I'm pansexual, which is all over the place. But the idea that they are going to be likely, when there's plenty of cases of predatory things happening with people who consider themselves straight already in the organization or in other organizations, I think that it puts that very myth to rest, and keeping that as this fallacious statement that they're parading as their reason is insulting and harmful to not only the organization, but the people who could benefit from the very good things that Scouts does.
I wanted to ask a question. You're an Eagle Scout, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us about what it takes to be an Eagle Scout?
In Scouts, there are several ranks. You start out as just a Scout. That's the entry level. You haven't done anything yet. You've applied and you've shown that you want to be a part of the organization. And then there's the Tenderfoot, Second Class, First Class, Star Life, and then Eagle. And each one has their own different steps, and they include things like charity and like working with people. We do a lot of service projects and things like that. You have to learn kind of technical skills, like learning how to tie knots and things like that would be useful in life. And one of the other qualms that I had that was another driving factor for me leaving is the 12 points of the Scout Law are: Scouts trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And with that, you actually, as far as I know, are not allowed to be a Scout if you are out as an atheist. And there are ways around that. There are some people who consider themselves spiritual when they're going through the process, so they're not kicked out. At the time that I got my position of Eagle, I was still in kind of a deciding phase. I was still going to youth group with Methodist Church in town, and that was kind of my voice that ended up getting me to Eagle. But if I had been out at that time, I may not have been able to get this rank simply because of the way I identify myself as far as my non-religion.
How much effort then did you put into being Eagle Scout?
Where did
you do community service?
It was 6 years of my life doing all of the different levels just in Boy Scouts. That's not including Cub Scouts. I did things in Cub Scouts as well. But we did charity events at churches because I guess I would consider myself an accommodationist. I am not against churches as long as they are doing good things and as long as they're not being harmful. So I had helped at several churches. I've helped at scout ranches, scout camps, things like that, helping fix trails, clean things up. My project was at the Humane Society here in town. Because for Eagle, you have to do your own, you have to create a service project, and as part of that, you have to plan it from the beginning, get donations, get people to come and help out with it, and complete a full project. And I think mine ended up being something like 160 man hours between all the people who we were working with. And for the Humane Society, I and my group helped by taking out all of the old dead plants that they had in their planters, replanting them. We got a large sign that has unfortunately been taken down since then, and I really wish that we could have kept it, but alas.
So basically, you guys did a whole bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you're having a problem, even though you're an atheist. They don't seem to get that you still help out with those things. You still went to churches. You still did all those things.
Oh, yes.
But you're an atheist, so that's a problem.
That would have been a problem if they had known that when I was in.
So you had to keep it a secret.
Yeah, I would have had to keep it a secret if I had been 100% aware of my position at the time.
So if you are a pansexual atheist and doing all that work,
it would have been for nothing. It would have been absolutely, completely for nothing, depending on which place. There are some probably, like, I'd imagine on the East Coast in certain places, maybe like in California, there would have been more liberal places where they would have let it slide. But I promise you, if I were in Texas or Salt Lake City or something like that, it would have been no fly. And so it's one of those things where you have to pick and choose your battles. It's something that is very good on a resume, so you want to be able to get it done. Or it's something that you have this esteem that you want for, I did this, and it can be lost.
How easy was it for you to turn your back on the Boy Scouts after putting that much effort into it? What did the Boy Scouts mean to you?
The Boy Scouts meant a lot to me when I was in Scouts. I've received several honors. In fact, one of them I received was I got an International Scouting Award for being the only person in my... I was actually the only person I know in the state. I don't know if that's true, but as far as I know, that was able to meet with the troop in another country and do a whole bunch of things. There's a whole bunch of processes. I had to be interpreter strip for being able to speak Spanish at a certain level and these various things. And these were all on the side after I was finished with my Eagle. And so I put a lot of my time and energy into that. And so it meant a lot to me. But since I was past the point where I didn't have to worry about losing those things because I'd already completed them, since once it got to the point where it was too much, it was actually a very easy decision. I was like, I can't associate myself with this group anymore.
so you went away from them.
Yeah, I don't pay dues anymore.
So you are no longer an Eagle Scout because of that?
I am. The saying is, once an Eagle Scout, always an Eagle Scout. You can't take away that honor. It's still something I have on a resume. I'm still certified as an Eagle. But I would not probably be allowed to attend meetings if they knew certain things. And that, again, depends on the place. I live in a place that's fairly liberal for the state especially. And my group might not have a problem with it. But in other places, I could probably be completely shunned and disallowed.
So what do you want? What do you want to happen with the Boy Scouts?
I really want people to be aware of the fact that there is still discrimination and there's still these questions involved as to why would they want to exclude anyone from being able to better themselves and things like that. And if anyone is willing to write to the Boy Scouts, they can always, there's plenty of places online you can go to ask. I did a bunch of research when I first started finding out about this, and the Boy Scouts of England have no discrimination policy for homosexuals. The Girl Scouts of America have no discrimination policy when it comes to homosexuals, things like that. 4-H is not allowed to because they're associated with the government. The Boy Scouts of Canada has no discrimination policy. It is only the Boy Scouts of America that has this, and I think it's something that is embarrassing and needs to change.
What would
That's
you
awesome.
tell a politician like Rick Perry, the governor of Texas?
I don't know that it's very
When-
possible to reason with Rick Perry, but
when
let's see.
When he rallies people to say that you shouldn't sexualize the Boy Scouts by allowing homosexuals to be scout leaders.
I would say that it is sexualizing by discriminating them in the first place, because by bringing it up as a topic, then suddenly it becomes a problem. If it's never an issue, if someone says, "Oh, I'm gay," then good for you. It's not really a big deal. Let's just keep going. The second that you set a precedent that a certain group is or is not allowed because of their sexuality, then I would say specifically that by causing that discrimination, it is being sexualized when it doesn't need to be.
Yeah. That's great. We're gonna have Amanda on.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you. I didn't know what your story was.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah, I
story,
heard
and
the
I'm glad
last
there's
minute
another
of it.
pansexual. So.
Fantastic.